So you're going to need a red yarn. I'm using a Payton's one. Now on my yarn label it requires a 5mm hook. For this you're going to need to go down a whole hook size so that when you crochet you don't have gaps. In exactly the same yarn brand I'm using the black. I also have a small white yarn which we will use for the details, a stitch marker, a metal yarn needle and your hook. So let's get on and make. So the first thing we're going to do is make ourselves a magic loop. That's holding the small end in our hand. We're going to wrap our yarn around our fingers twice to create this exaggerated cross. We're going to go with our hook under, and when we go over we're going to grab that section, come through, give it a twist, and immediately we're going to chain one. That chain one is just to hold all of this nonsense. And then just pop that tail end through your magic loop and it just makes life easier later on. If you find that your magic loop's getting a little bit too big, just pull on that small end to tighten it up. So we're going to go ahead and do 4 single crochets, so that's 1. And then I'm going to get my new best friend, which is my stitch marker, and I'm going to pop it straight away into that first single crochet that I made. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then I'm going to close the gap. We're not going to single crochet to that slip stitch to that first single crochet that we made. We're just going to go straight on in there. We're going to do 2 single crochets in each one, which will give us 8 stitches. So that's 1. I'm going to go ahead and move my stitch marker to this round straight away. So that's into there and back into the same place for our second single crochet into this stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So your work should look something like that. Now for this next round we're going to just do 8 single crochet. So sorry, for this round and the next round, so that's 2 rounds of 8 single crochet. So that's 1 and move the stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8th one should just be before your stitch marker because the stitch marker indicates the beginning of each round. So again we're going to go 1, move the stitch marker. This will just make your life so much easier when you are actually counting. So that was 1. If it begins to want to come in on itself, you know you're doing it perfectly. So you can just gently tease it into that shape there so it begins. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is my 8th one, but this is the last stitch that we're going to do in black, so I'm not going to totally complete it in the black. I'm going to try and bring in my red yarn successfully, so that's as much of the black as I'm going to use. Now I'm going to bring in the red yarn. So with this one we're going to do a slip knot, so that's just around bring the long end through there, and again pull gently on that small one, which gives us a loop. Put the loop on your hook, tighten it over, and that's what we're going to use to come through, and that introduces your red yarn. So we're going to do the next 10 rounds in our red, so I'll just stay with you for this one. Now this end here, this tail end here, nobody likes to be weaving in loads of ends, so we're going to lay that across our row. So what I mean by that is I'm just going to tighten that off, and then I'm going to cut my black. Okay, so then with the tail end of your red and the tail end of the black that you've just cut, just knot them together in a real simple knot. Nothing fantastic, nothing amazing. It just makes sure that those ends are really secure. So we're going to lay those tail ends over our work, and we're back at our stitch marker, which means that's stitch number 1 of this round. Let's start that again because those tail ends aren't lying down. So they're just going to go over the top of your work like so. So that's 1. Remember, when you've heard yourself say 1, move your stitch marker to make your life really easy. We all like an easy life. Like so. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last one should be 8. There we are. So 8, I'm going to cut these little ends off now, just to get them out of the way, like so. So that was 1. You need to carry on and do another 9 rows in the red. Make 2 of these. Feel free to pause the video. Make 2 of these, and I'll join you once I've made my second one as well. So once you've made both, go ahead and gently stuff, don't overstuff them, making sure that they're about the same sort of thickness. When you cut your yarn off, make sure that you're leaving a long tail to sew these to the body. So that's the arms made. Let's get on and move on to the legs and the body. So again, we're going to start out with our black yarn. Stitch marker is our best friend, so we're going to do exactly the same way. We're going to start with our magic loop, exactly the same as we did before. So as we're doing this, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will be forever grateful. So that's that. So instead of starting off with 4 single crochets in the middle, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do 6. So that's 1. I've heard myself say 1, so that's an alarm to put in my stitch marker into that first stitch there and just secure it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So just pull on that small tail end again just to close up your magic loop. And then we're going to make 2 single crochets in each of these ones here, which will give us 12 single crochets in total. So I'm going to go in there for 1. There's my alarm. I've heard myself say 1, which means I need to move my stitch marker. And then back into the same stitch for 2, which is our increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then this should be our last one for 11 excuse me, and 12. Okay, so for the next 2 rounds we're just simply going to go all the way around, and then we're going to change to our red yarn. So 1, 2, whoops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 should be just before your stitch marker. It's at this point that your work is going to want to curl in. So just give it a bit of a flip to encourage it to do that. It's at this point, if you feel comfortable, to weave in your end. I'm not going to do that because I want to carry on with you. So this is the second round, just doing our 12 single crochets. That was 1. So Create Crochet is also on social media. You'll find us Create Crochet on Facebook, and on Instagram it's create_crochet. If you do any of my videos, I would love to see your work either on the Facebook page or tagging me in on Instagram. I'd really like that. I'd like to see what you're doing with these videos. So nearly there. Now I'm going to get my red yarn because, like we did with the arms, I'm not going to finish that stitch off. So I'm just going to grab my red yarn, make a loop as exactly the same as we did before. So just tighten that off and finish the stitch in the red yarn. So now I'm going to cut my black yarn off. I'm going to just tuck the tail end of my magic loop in there, and off camera I will weave that end in, so don't worry. And then with this end and the tail end of the red, I'm just going to simply knot them together. So now we've done that. That was 5 rows. We now need to do 6 to 13 rows, 6 to 13 in our red yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to make 2 of these. I'm going to slightly stuff them, properly weaving my ends, and I'll see you back here in a second. So you've got your 2 legs and you've stuffed them, you've weaved in your ends, but you have not cut the end of your second leg. Okay, so that's still attached to your yarn ball. Okay, with this leg we're going to go ahead and we're going to crochet 1 extra round of the single crochet. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and straight away do that. My best friend, my stitch marker. Okay, so all the way around. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you'll never miss a video, because they're all dead silly and they're all informative and they're all for beginners. So we're just going to go all the way around. now, we're just going to put our best friend to the side, but not too far away. We're going to get our first leg that we made, and we're going to slip stitch anywhere. Okay, what I like to do is I like to lay this end over again, so I'm not having to weave in heaps and heaps of ends. So I'm just going to go in there, and I'm going to slip stitch these two together. Okay, so I've got this on my hook. I'm getting my second leg, and I'm going to make sure that those are together. Looks a bit faffy, and I've got to admit this bit is a little bit faffy. Alright, and I'm just going to slip stitch to attach those two legs together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around this leg. So that's why we did the extra round of single crochet on this one. If I don't do it on this one, the legs are going to be different sizes, and that's going to be no good to anybody. So now I'm coming to that tail end. I'm just going to lay it across so I don't have to weave in the end. It's not laziness, it's just efficient. That's what I keep telling myself. I'm efficient, not lazy. Just don't like weaving in ends. There's more to life than weaving in ends. All the way around. So that's your two legs joined together, and from here we're going to do the body. Okay, so I'm going to snip that end off. Okay, so here I am, back around, and that's my two legs together. So now I've got these two legs, I've got 24 stitches in this round, so that they're going to come together. Are you with me? Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to crochet one, get my best friend back, put the stitch marker in there. We're going to crochet 12, we're going to do an increase, and we're going to crochet 12. That's one, yarn's gone all through. 1, 2, because that was 1, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, bit eager there. And so in this stitch I'm going to do 2 single crochets for my increase, and then we're going to go all the way back round to my stitch marker. So you go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you round here. So now we're back to the stitch marker. We're going to need to do some increases here, but they're not even, so stay with me on this video. Okay, so the first one is an increase, so that's where the stitch marker is. We're going to do 1 and 2. So let's just move our stitch marker into the first single crochet of this round, so that's coming back 2 stitches into that one there. Beautiful. So then we're going to do 3. 1 to the next stitch, 2 to the next stitch, 3, increase. We're going to do 3 again. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. So you're basically doing 3 and an increase. 1, 2, 3 and an increase. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to increase here. So what we're looking for on this round is that at the end of it we have 32 stitches. Okay, so after that, after you've made sure that you've got your 32 stitches, you may need to, if you haven't done these bits just correctly, that's fine, just do a couple of more stitches, increases. But at this point you need to have 32 stitches, because we're going to start doing some decreases and some jiggery pokery to make it look right. So just go ahead and pause your video and let's just get to that point. So now we have our 32 stitches, we can carry on. So now we're going to do, let me just double check my pattern, 16 stitches, increase, 16 stitches, increase. So 1, move the stitch marker, told you it's going to be your new BFF. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, increase. So I haven't actually got the 16, I told you wrong, so I'm just going to do my last increase here before I get to my stitch marker, and that has to give me 34 stitches in order for the rest of the pattern to work. So our next round is simply doing a single crochet in each of the previous round. Do count your stitches as you're going around just to make sure that you've got those 34 stitches. So we've been all the way around, we've checked that we have 34 stitches, and now we need to start decreasing. So that's what your little guard should look like right now. So we're going to go straight into here and we're going to do 10 stitches. We're going to do a decrease and we're going to do that 3 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now to do our decrease, we're going to go into one stitch, pull up a loop, we're going to go to our next stitch, pull up a loop, so we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over and come through all 3 loops on the hook, and that's a decrease. So we've done it once, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So we're going to do a decrease again. So that's into the next stitch, pull up a loop, into the following stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and come through all 3. So that was twice that we completed that, so this should be our 3rd time. And then the decrease. So I'm just going to put my stitch marker in there. So for the next 2 rounds, we're just checking my pattern, that's why I went quiet. For the next 2 rounds, we're going to single crochet all the way around, and I'll see you once that has been done. So there we are, we're back at that one. So this one we're going to do 9 stitches and then we're going to do a decrease, 9 stitches, decrease, and we're going to do that 3 times. So that's 1, move my bestie. You see how important it is to have this stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Decrease in, pull up a loop, next stitch in, pull up a loop, yarn over, take off 3. So that's once. Decrease. And then the last 2 stitches for decrease. Brilliant. So as you can see, that guard is really starting to take shape now. We're coming in. So what we're going to do now is for 1 round, we're just going to do 1 single crochet just for 1 round. And then I'll join you back and we'll do the next load of decreases. So you should have counted 30 stitches as you went round there. If not, just do some decreases or increases to make sure that you have 30 stitches at this point. So this next round we're going to do 8 single crochet, decrease, and then we're going to again do that 3 times. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Decrease. You got it. You know what you're doing now. You guys are amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like he wants to go for a walk. 5, 6, 7, 8, and a decrease. 1, 2. I don't know how many other ways to count to make it sound interesting, so I'm just going for it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Decrease, which should take you back to the stitch marker. So now for the next 2 rows we are going to do a single crochet all the way around. So that's 2 rows single crochet, and at this point you're doing really well and it looks amazing. Speech in a second. So this round we're going to do your last decrease. So in this round we're going to do, let me just double check my pattern, 7 double crochet decrease. So into this one for 1, that was a bit more faffy than it needed to be, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is our magic number. So you guys know what you're doing now. So once you've done all that, I will see you back at where our stitch marker is. See you in a second, lovelies. For the next round you are going to need your arms, because this round we're going to join those bad boys. Okay, this is where you'll find out if you've overstuffed your arms. If you have, don't worry, just remove some, or if you want to put more in, go for it. So we're going to single crochet 8. 1, move the stitch marker, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that is what it should look like, and you should be on the side here ready to receive your arm. So with your arm you should have had 8 stitches to finish. We're going to squish that down, that makes 4. So onto the outside of your crochet you're going to go into the arm and into the body. Okay, so in to the arm, move your tail end out of the way, and in to the body, and then just come through, yarn over and come through everything as though you're just doing a normal single crochet. 1, just making sure I'm catching that next stitch, 2, really peeling back that arm to make sure I do get the next stitch on the body and I don't actually miss any out, 3, and 4. Come on, there we go, 4. This is the tail end of the arm. Again, I'm just going to lay that on top of my work just so I don't have to weave it in. Not lazy, efficient. So now off we go. We do 8 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and at 6 I'm going to take off this tail end because I don't want it to get in the way of me putting on the second arm. Move that one out of the way. 7 and 8, and then we get to do the second arm. If you have overstuffed, just take some stuffing out. Don't be afraid to do that. It's absolutely fine. So going into the body, coming through, finish off the single crochet as normal. Okay, squishing that all down. Two, making sure I catch the front and the back of the arm. It's a good tip. 3, and the fourth one should just be before your stitch marker. Coming through. So now you've attached your arms. So now that looks quite sexy. We're going to single crochet and decrease again. So the amount that we're going to do before I decrease is 6. Okay. So with this is the tail end of the arm. I'm going to just lay that across my work again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for my decrease, and then I'm just going to go all the way around doing 6 decrease, 6 decrease, and then after that I'm going to go round once doing single crochet. So do all that, feel free to pause the video, and I'll see you in a second. So you've done your 6 decrease round, you've done your single crochet round, and now what we need to do is finish off the body. So where our stitch marker is, we are actually going to come along and we're going to slip stitch into that. So that's just yarn over, pull up that loop and come through. From here on we're going to do a chain 1. All that chain 1 does is it doesn't count as a stitch. The only thing that it does is it holds our work nice and secure, and then I'm going to snip, pull through, and that's your body made. Go ahead and stuff your body, and then we'll get round to the head. The hood and the head are made pretty much in the same way. So we're going to start off with the hood, but you will also need to rewind the video and you will need to do exactly the same in the black until I tell you to not do. Okay, so magic loop. And in here we're going to do 6 single crochet. One. Let's place our stitch marker. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not going to slip stitch to that first single crochet, we're just going to keep going. So into each of these we're going to do 2 single crochet, and that will give us 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So then we're going to go 1 single crochet, increase 1 single crochet all the way around. So again we're just going to move our stitch marker to mark the beginning of our round. So that was 1, and then we increase 1, increase, and by increase we're just doing 2 single crochet in the previous round stitch. Gosh, the sun is streaming through my window right now. So on the next round we're going to do 2 single crochet increase. So you carry on with that and I'll see you at the end of the round. So the next one we're going to do 3 single crochet before our increase. The round after that we're going to do 4 single crochet before our increase, and then the last one of our increases we're going to do 5 single crochet and then increase. So you do that, get up to your 5, and then I will see you when this looks a little bit more bowl shaped. So I forgot to say, with the black, once you've done your 4 single crochet, that's where you're going to stop following this section and just carry on and do the black after this section. So this section we're going to do 5 single crochet. So that's 1. You're not going to do this round in the black. 2, 3, 4, 5, and increase. So we're going to stay together and we're going to do this all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and increase. 2, 3, 4, 5, and increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and increase. Only a few more left to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. And again, by increase we're just doing 2 single crochet in the previous round. 2, 3, 4, 5, and increase. Again, this is just for the red, we're not doing this for the black. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do 5 rounds just single crochet. So once you've done those 5 rounds, we'll join together. So the next one we're going to do 3 single crochet before our increase. The round after that we're going to do 4 single crochet before our increase, and then the last one of our increases we're going to do 5 single crochet and then increase. So you do that, get up to your 5, and then I will see you when this looks a little bit more bowl shaped. So to finish off, all you're going to do is slip stitch to where your BFF is, chain 1 just to secure, and leave enough red yarn so that you can sew it to your head. Pull it through, remove your stitch marker, and that's the hood done. So we've done exactly the same as what we did with the hood. We've got 4 single crochet before our increase, and that's as far as we got, because with the red we obviously did another round after that. So now for the next 4 rounds, all you're going to do is a single crochet in each, and at this point you should have 36 single crochet in your round. So as I said, 4 rounds single crochet, and I will see you then. So once you've been round 4 rounds and we still have 36 stitches, it's time to decrease, because right now you should have something that resembles a bowl. Well, we don't want a bowl head, so we need to complete it. So the next one is we're going to do 4 single crochet decrease all the way around. So 1, move our BFF, 2, 3, 4, decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease. Now some crocheters will tell you at this point to start stuffing your guard. I'm not that keen on doing that because I find that the stuffing just gets in the way, but it's personal preference. It's entirely up to you how you decide to do it. It's your crochet, it's your work. 3, 4, decrease. And the decrease is exactly the same as what we did on the body. 3, 4. Oops, nearly finished that stitch off then. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that last decrease should take us to our stitch marker. So as you'll see, as you'll already begin to see, that will start to curve in. And as I'm chatting to you, I'm actually taking out more yarn to two birds, one stone. So the next one we want to do 3 single crochet before a decrease. So that's 1. Move the stitch marker. You're nearly there now, you're nearly finished. So that's 1, 2, 3, decrease. 1, 2, 3, decrease. So I'd love to know who you're making your card for. Again, you can share it on the social media page of Create Crochet. Let us like and see and applaud you for your hard work. That'd be amazing. 1, 2, 3, decrease. And decrease. So the last one that we're going to do is of the decrease is 2 single crochet, decrease, do 2 single crochet, and on we go. So I'm going to let you do that on your own, and I'll join you after we've just done that one round. So all we're going to do for this round is we're simply going to single crochet all the way around, and that finishes off the head. So into our stitch marker. I'm going to stay with you with this one because I want to show you how to just finish it off. Just really easy, really simple, all the way around. And then we get to sew everything together and put the white shape on the face and add the black to the body. It's all fairly easy from here on in. Unless of course you're like me and you're not that great at sewing. So here we are, we're back at the stitch marker. We're going to slip stitch, chain 1 just to secure our stitches, and we're going to leave enough of a tail to sew it onto the body. And then we're just going to pull it through, pull it tight, and say goodbye to our BFF. So stay with me and we will get all of that sewn together. Now that you've finished all the crochet, you'll be happy to know, you'll have to put it all together. So weave in your ends, and then we can sew it on here. So you're going to make sure that this all lines up. So this section here lines up because we're going to actually sew this part to the body. So with the long end that you left when you did your hood, I'll just show you very, very briefly on how to sew, because we've all got our own individual ways as to how we sew. I'm just going to show you how I really pants do it, because I'm not the best sewer in the world. Okay, so I'm just going to tuck that in there, and all I'm going to do is just very easily just in and out stitch like that. But then when it comes to the actual sewing it onto the black bit, you're not going to have this section of the black as a reference guide. So all we do is we just go in, catch some yarn and up. It's as easy as that. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So that's how you do the hood. So I'm just going to show you real quickly how I did the symbol on the front. So to attach my yarn, I've just put it in, and then I'm just going to catch a little tiny bit of black, come through, and then I'm going to put my needle, so used to crocheting, through that loop just to create a bit of a knot, like so. I actually use my single crochet lines as a guide. So if this is the top, I want my triangle, and of course they do have different shapes. So I'm going to do the triangle. So all I do was in and up. Whoops, hit the camera. Like that, not pulling too hard because I don't want this stitch to actually disappear. So again, I'm just going up, making sure that the stitches are around about the same size, and come through. And I'm doing this before I attach the head because I just find that easier. Again, personal preference, whatever you decide. And that's how I do the white stitching. I've been Create Crochet. Thank you very much for watching my video. Again, like and subscribe, and I will see you soon, my darlings. Bye!